Tonight, students taking on Katy ISD's gender identity policy.
And they say it is creating safety concerns for already vulnerable young people.
We learned that 23 students had their parents notified about their gender identity, which is a lot for just about 3 months.
Katy ISD leaders passed that policy a few months ago. Thank you for joining us. I'm Keith Garvin.
Good evening. I'm Daniela Guzman. Well, the policy we are talking about here requires school staff to notify parents if their child identifies as transgender or wants to use different pronouns or names than the ones assigned at birth.
It's also the subject of our Click to Vote question this half hour. Should schools be required to notify parents if their child's pronouns change? Grab your phone and vote on the Click to Houston app or at click2vote.com. KPRC2's Rowan Balogan joins us near Tompkins High School in Katy. And Rowan, you have been talking with one of the students involved in filing this complaint.
Yeah, Keith, Daniela, this is a copy of the complaints itself, and on the last page, the group, student-led group that is asking the federal government to step in and repeal Katy ISD's policy. And I reached out to the district about this story with a number of questions we had. Since they are in winter break, no one would respond. So I called the board president, directly, and he tells me since the U.S. Department of Education hasn't responded to the district about this complaint, he isn't commenting either.
These policies aren't making students not trans. It's making them unsafe.
Jared Burton is a junior at Tompkins High School in Katy. He's the president of the school's Sexuality and Gender Alliance group. He's also a part of the Students Engaged in Advancing Texas. This group recently filed a complaint against Katy ISD.
Ever since its passage and when I learned that it was going to be voted upon by the school board, I immediately wanted to speak out.
The school district policy requires staffers to notify parents if their student identifies as transgender or asks to use different pronouns than ones assigned at birth.
This is consistent with how we communicate with parents on all kinds of things that deal with their student at school. So I find comfort in that. I think it makes sense. People
on the board said while this measure was being discussed that, hey, this is just letting parents be more involved.
I understand that, but the thing is, coming out is something that's very personal, and you shouldn't be forced to do it.
The group filed the complaints through Title IX. We went to the public library trying to figure out what it means. Now, according to this book, Title IX is defined as this: no person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any education programs or activity receiving federal financial assistance. Law professor at South Texas College of Law Houston, Ryan Nelson, weighs in on the complaints. Do you think this student group has merits for their complaints, and do you think this will move forward?
I do. I read the complaint. I think it's strong. So Katy ISD's policies violate Title IX in several ways. Most strikingly, by requiring K-12 teachers and other school staff to out transgender children and adolescents to their parents, even if the teacher has no idea whether the parents might abuse the student when they get home from school.
So here's what happens next. The U.S. Department of Education's Office of Civil Rights will read the complaints and then determine whether they have authority and if they need to further investigate. And there's no clear timeline as to how all of this will happen. Live in Katy, Roman Balogan, KPRC 2 News.
All right, Rowan, thank you.